Hey, everybody, it's another week. Another week has passed in our lives. Another week in the year 2020, a year that will go down in infamy. Uh, we are playing the 80s, around the 20s. I don't think that the makers imagined there'd be anything like this at this time. Oh, wait, they did. Vitas. But I'm rambling on and on now about stuff that's not pertinent to what's going on here today. Again, Danny Oliver. I am here with Rem Alternus. I am the GM for Shadowrun missions, which we are running also for Callus Game Labs. I am the writer of, or not writer, the developer, lead developer of the Shadowrun missions modules. And those story arcs that go through. So that's where we're doing Shadowrun missions. We're doing the Chicago story arc, which was released in like 2014 to 2017 ish, coming out, and we're going to go ahead and run through that with our team. With that, just down the line, everybody say hi and just introduce your name and your character.
Hi, I'm Jen. I play Gertie, the troll medic, and possible team mom.
Definitely team mom.
Yeah.
I heard teen mom, and I got like, what show are we running?
I'm Duryea, and I play Kaida Norel, the Nocturna elf, and also the group's mage extraordinaire.
All right.
Oh, that's
Sarah?
me. Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm playing the elf kind of phys adept. I can't talk, guys. What am I doing? Phys adept and kind of special ops interrogation, sneaky any. Also stop you from moving in a fight.
Very well too.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm Thomas. I play Etienne, the team's combat engineer, a little bit thicker, pretty much good with a gun and his shovel.
Hey guys, I'm Chris. I play Satchel. I am the resident nobody / cut you in half at a moment's notice guy. Yeah, that's me. Let's have fun. Let's roll some dice.
All right. So with that, we left off last week, episode 3, at the Maker Collective, where you were looking for a young woman named Samantha Carroll, who apparently had been missing for 20 years or so. Kind of finding yourself wandering through the various stalls and stores of the Maker Collective, asking various questions, meeting the denizens that make their livelihood there. You eventually did discover that this young woman, Samantha Carroll, was probably in the building just across the street, baking bread. And that's where we left off. So we are picking up today as the group is deciding how they want to approach talking to this young woman.
Can we talk real quick about how cool the art is that's added to our overlay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned them and showed them last week, but up there on the overlay.
Yeah, now that they're by us, I think they're really cool. Also, Duryea, you look so much taller than me.
Do I?
I mean, he might
Well, I mean, you
Maybe
know,
I am. Yeah.
be.
It's okay. I'll be a midget elf. I'm okay.
No,
with
that's actually true because I'm supposed to be my character's supposed to be like 6'2".
Okay. Well,
Yeah, tall
apparently
dude
you
of water.
fit under your chin, so you must be this size to travel with Duryea's mage.
I wanted him to be physically imposing as well, so that when people come up on him, they don't know whether he's going to kick their ass or throw them across the room telekinetically.
Yay!
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
All right, back to bread making.
All right. So back to bread making. Yeah, so you stepped out into the parking lot. The ground is frozen around you. The wind is blowing through, and you are, yeah, as stated, in this parking lot, kind of standing around Darcy a little bit. figuring out. And there's the building just to the north. That is where you are. That's the building that we're talking about. The one that's blacked out.
So do we know who is employing her there? Who's making her work there?
We don't really know if she's being made to work or not.
Yeah, well, I mean,
So
know
a
that they
reminder
say-
is that you're pretty sure that is Fluff's bakery.
Quote
Oh.
bakery.
Does he make donuts?
With sprinkles.
Satchel likes sprinkles.
Well, Satchel is not so much a fan of Fluff's baked goods as of this point in the game.
hmm So do we have a way in?
I think our way in was supposed to be. We were supposed to go talk to what's the guy's name? Fluff.
Well,
And he was supposed to get us in, right?
He
Yes,
did say
last-
that he did say that you guys could go in, just to let whoever at the door know that you were there, and Fluff said you could.
That's what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna walk to the door and talk to the people. Am I right? And he looks around, make sure everybody gets it, because last time apparently it didn't go that way.
Ask him for a little jazz, you know. Cut 'em in
No,
half.
we gotta get in to talk to Sam, and Fluff said it was okay.
Makes sense to me.
I kind of grin and at Etienne and like gesture for by all means, go right ahead.
Okay, it's not really my cup of tea, but let's go talk to people. And
I'll stay close to him so that if he needs talkie support, I can help.
Talkie support.
I'm good at the talkie today.
Is anybody not going over there?
I'll actually kind of like hang back and just like let them walk ahead, and then I'll subtly turn around and go back into the Makers Collective, or attempt to.
Okay. I mean, it's not hard. It's still open.
Oh yeah, I
And
mean, I just don't say anything to them as I do it. No.
Okay, bye.
yeah, we're hey, Pouch, where are you going?
I'm going. I think I need to look into some BTL chips at the Suncoast or FYE over here.
That's cool and all, but can we do that after we're done with the job?
You don't understand it. I kind of need these things. Last night was kind of rough, and I need a recharge.
He kind of
I-
frowns and goes like, he looks around to the others.
I look at
Okay.
Etienne and put a hand on his shoulder and just say, "Let him go. This shouldn't be hard."
All right. Well, we'll let you know when we're done, buddy.
Oh, you're just across the street at the bakery, right?
Yeah.
I'll meet you there in a few minutes. It shouldn't take long.
All right.
all right. So Kaida's heading up in Gertrude as well.
Yes.
All right. So everybody heads up to the building, and there's a fella sitting. He's got the door open behind him, and the warmth of the building inside is just kind of blowing out the door. Heating costs apparently don't mean much to this fellow. He probably made his dad really angry as a kid. But as you kind of move over to that area, he steps up out of his chair and looks at you as his hands kind of going down by his side, where you do notice that he is strapped. I help you with anything?
Yeah, we're here to visit one of your worker. We get business with her.
We got permission from Fluff to come on over and talk to her.
Yeah, Fluff. Yeah, he said it was all right.
Okay. So what I would like to do right now is we'll do a teamwork test where we start with Lila rolling her
Flea.
etiquette. Flea. Rolling her etiquette. First die roll of the night. 6. Very nice. What is Etienne's etiquette skill?
Etienne does have a little bit of etiquette. He had to do customer support in the past. Didn't like it much, but he has 2 ranks in etiquette.
So you could take 2 of those 6 and add them to your dice pool and roll your own etiquette.
All right.
Okay.
Not too bad.
Given that you just kind of walked out of the Maker Collective, he doesn't have any reason to disbelieve you. And you don't look like you're there necessarily to cause trouble. Like weapons aren't necessarily out. And one of your guys went back towards the Maker Collective. He's finally he waits a moment and then he finally just kind of, all right, who are you looking for?
Sam,
Sam.
orange jacket.
Short black hair.
And with that, he kind of steps kind of to the side to look deeper into the area. And doing so, you see the center row of these tables, and they're about halfway down. You see this girl. You see the bright orange jacket, the same one actually that recently you sold one to the fella in the Maker Collective, with her blue denim or blue linen pants, blue pants, and he goes, "Hey Sam, there's some folks here to see you." And she looks your way.
I wave, friendly.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Etienne's just smiling and having his hand up.
And then she looks back down. If someone would like to do a judge intentions test.
Yes, please. Where is this on my character sheet?
On your character sheet, judge intentions, you will find it, I believe it's going to be on the left-hand side.
It's going to be to the right of your
Found it.
attribute.
Okay. So you can, I mean, even at this distance, you can see that like her behavior is not like oh, there's people here. It's like she's almost trying to ignore that she just got called and that people are here to see her. And then you just kind of see her not crouch, but like you just feel that tension. You see kind of this tension in her body. However, since you have seen it, you will get a bonus of 3 on your surprise roll. So what I need everyone to do is that's here is go ahead and roll your reaction plus intuition, and you get a +3, Sarah.
Action
Cool.
plus intuition.
Yep. So it's a reaction. So you're gonna roll reaction on your character sheet, and then when it asks you for the other stat, you're going to add intuition.
Reaction is going to be under
On the left-hand side of your character sheet and your attributes. It's one of your main attributes.
Okay. There it is. And then when it asks for modifiers, put what?
For you, it's 0.
That's a lot of 4s.
And for attribute,
It's going to be intuition.
intuition. Got you.
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
Okay. So yeah, let's have everyone roll some initiative. Remember to select your token prior to rolling that initiative.
See my token.
So on the map, you're gonna have to kind of zoom in a little bit. I'm at like
Ah.
about 150% on the side.
Gotcha. Okay, I see it.
All right. So I've got Sam's, I've got Etienne's,
I'm sorry, I'm slow.
Got
I'm trying to get
Jen's.
the character sheet.
God damn,
Lila.
Sam.
And then
Jeez.
intuition, you said. No, initiative, you said.
Yes, initiative. All right. So everybody who did not get at least 3 hits on that reaction test, your initiative goes down by 10.
Oh, awesome. Great.
I'll just
So-
stand here in the doorway.
Yes. Because even kind of seeing that, Lila, you were actually caught a little bit by surprise, as she
Great.
does turn in the other direction and just bolts, heading towards the other end of the building.
Sarah, who saw this coming, rolls her eyes drastically.
Oh my god.
Indeed. Yeah, one of the things I have to remember when I'm doing this is that I don't have to close the character sheets to get them out of my way. I just have to double tap the top of them.
I just had an image for some reason of Scar from The Lion King with the hyenas coming behind him and him going, "Get him."
Oh yeah.
All right, so she is going to run, and since running in Shadowrun is goofy, she is going to get her full distance that she can run, which it takes her to about right there, because we don't actually go very many squares in this. She doesn't do anything else other than turn and just run. That is literally her only action at this time. Gertrude.
Does it look like, or I don't know if I can see to the other side of the building, if there's potentially another door that she may be headed towards?
There is absolutely a door that she is headed towards.
Okay. So I would like to kind of run sort of parallel on the outside of the building to try and intercept her on the other side.
Okay. So what is your agility?
My agility is a 6.
6. So you can run in a melee round 4 times your agility before you have to start rolling running plus strength to eke out more speed. So 6 times 4 is what, 24, right? So that gets you to about here, and then you can make a strength plus running roll or a running skill check to advance any further.
So I do not have running as a skill.
So you can roll strength as a default. So
Okay.
on where it says default, you're going to change the ability to strength, and then you're going to change the limit to physical.
I will do that. And I got a 3.
So you get a little bit further on that roll. Etienne.
Etienne is just, he sees her as run away and he just throws his arms in the air, tabarnak, and then he takes the chair from the guy and sits down in it and slumps down in VR.
Okay. That guy does not respond. Lila.
Flee.
Flee.
I'm going to use commanding voice and tell her to stop running.
Okay.
Oh.
Do I have to roll anything?
You do have to roll something. So, what do you have to roll for commanding voice? Let's find out. Come on, roll 20. You're very slow. All right. Commanding voice. The information has not been entered into the Dilibop. Magic plus charisma for now.
Okie day.
And that includes your, oh, you don't have the additional thing. So yeah, just that. All right, so with 5 hits, she has to meet or beat.
Son of a biscuit.
All right,
Wow.
so that was your action. What is, are you doing anything else?
I mean, I'm gonna use my bonus. Oh yay! We got a follow. Thank you. I'm gonna use my free action to turn to Kaida and say we're gonna need you. And then I'm gonna take off after her through the building.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so what is your agility?
My agility is 6 parentheses 10.
Oh, so you are quite fast. No, it's not 6 parentheses 10. It's 6, right? Because you have a 6. It's just that you can turn on your agility boost to get some additional dice, right?
Does that require an action?
It does require it does require a free action to do that. However, it doesn't add to your running speed, so it's not going to change
Oh, okay.
anything for now. So
I
you
do
just
want to turn
dash.
it on.
Okay, so you just dash into the building, leaving us at Kaida's turn.
So first, Kaida thinks to himself, I've been maging for so long and she still has to tell me when I'm needed. And then he tosses his dreads behind his ear. And then but she didn't hear the first part. She only just saw the dread tossed.
I can't
And
wait
then
till you can do stuff without mentally bitching.
oh no, that is
That will be
Kaida
never.
all like that's how he operates. It's
What would be
always
the
a
point?
mental. Now if he's saying out loud, then there's a problem. And then so then he casts. Is she too far away from me to cast fingers?
So you can see her.
Yes.
Do just remember though that magic fingers basically creates a hand with the strength of a hand. The more hits you get, the stronger that hand is, and eventually it could probably be strong enough to do something pretty beefy.
I'm
But,
thinking like a Green Lantern hand. My bad.
yeah, no,
You know.
that's a little bit bigger. But yeah, so I'm saying you're gonna have to make this a high force spell and get the hits in it.
Or I could cast
to work
Control Thought.
properly. Yes, you can cast Control Thought, and
I'm gonna
that
do
will.
I'm gonna cast Control Thought. What do I need to do? Just roll it.
Yep. So you're gonna go into because you're full up on everything. So you're gonna go in, cast Control Thoughts,
Uh-huh.
and then with you're gonna enter the force that you want to cast it at.
Which at this point would be
At least as many hits as you think you're probably gonna get. So at least 4, but maybe you want to push up to 6 or 7.
I'll go with 6. Actually, let's go with 7. Boop.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So you got 3 hits. So if I don't get at least 3 hits here, then you will have succeeded.
Do I do the drain first?
You will need to do drain.
Damn. Damn.
You take 3 stun with that. That's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
I'll be all right.
All right. So 3 stun.
By the way, Danny, just so you know, I looked it up. It's charisma versus willpower.
Just
It's
charisma.
No, it's
versus
leadership
just
plus
willpower?
charisma against. Oh, I may be wrong. Sorry.
Okay. All right. That was you, Etienne. If you could roll the additional dice
Yep.
for your modified initiative.
Wait, let me ask you a question. Is my turn done?
Your action here is done. Yes.
So I can't add like a NERPS or whatever?
No, you'll have to do that before you roll.
Okay.
You want to call that out before you roll.
Okay.
So we're adding 9 to Etienne's. Okay. On her turn, she is going to attempt to eke out a few more meters. So in Shadowrun, a lot of times the movement is you get like a burst of speed at the beginning of your turn if you're just trying to run in a direction, and then the rest of your movement is like just trying to get a few more kind of bits by like using a sprint action. It can be a little bit goofy sometimes. So here we go. Oh, she moves 5 more meters on her turn. This brings us to Etienne.
Etienne is gonna try and pinpoint something electronic on her, whether it be comlinks or whatever, just like cybernetics that makes her move that fast.
All right. Make a matrix perception test.
Computer plus intuition plus 2 because I'm in super VR.
There you go.
All right, we'll try that.
All right. So you get 4 hits out of that. You do notice that there is you see a weapon icon, a pistol icon, that's close enough to her that you think it's on her. You also see maybe you're not sure what it is. It looks like a pan, but something about it is off. And it seems like it's a very weak broadcast of a pan.
So I would have trouble like pinpointing the origin and putting a mark on it, for example.
Maybe, yeah, maybe you might. You'd have to take more time with it to figure it out. But it does have you do notice that it does have an array that's just kind of a standard cyberdeck array.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that was my my complex action this turn. So
Yep.
That'd be it for me, and I'll see what I can do with all that next turn.
All right, Gertrude. Let's get if you're continuing to try to sprint, that strength roll, the defaulted strength roll.
Yeah, sure. Got a 4.
All right, so we'll push you up 1. Satchel, as you're heading towards the building and about to enter, you hear a commotion, and turning, you do see Gertrude is now like trying to sprint down the side of this building towards the other side. You don't necessarily see Flea. So something's going on over there, some sort of shenanigans. You're not sure what, but definitely something.
So I look towards the I look towards the Makers Collective, and then like I feel kind of guilty, and I'm like, it seems like they need some help, or so I just start sprinting towards their direction.
Okay.
Or towards her direction. Like, hey, what's going on? As I'm like moving over to her.
Okay. At this point, let's have everyone roll another initiative test because we are now in our second round.
Do I get a bonus since my agility boost is on?
To initiative, you do not. That's not what.
Okay.
That's just going to give you bonus to your.
You kidding me?
And
Goodness gracious.
So initiative, right?
yep. So make sure that you've selected your token, and then you hit the initiative on your character sheet.
Okay. I did the opposite of that. Let me redo that.
Okay. Looks like I've got. Did I get yours, Kaida? I'm showing a 0 for you still.
I rolled an 11.
All right. I believe you, so I'm
I was
gonna
the
make
first
it an
one.
11.
I could have said something else then.
You must not have selected your token.
I'll do it again then.
No, we're good.
No,
believe
I
you.
didn't select my token.
I believe you.
I didn't. I lied.
I lied.
So did you do it?
I'm gonna do it right now. Okay.
Okay.
Boop. Okay. And then now I'm gonna roll initiative.
Now you roll.
See if that makes a difference. Okay. Initiative. Boop.
There it goes. You got another couple out of it somehow. It didn't change it on your sheet though, for whatever reason. I don't know. Technology.
That is weird.
All right, so the young lady gets to the end of the building and throws open that door, steps outside, and allows it to close behind her as she is continuing to run away. Doesn't get very far. Etienne.
All right. Etienne is gonna try and put a mark on this this deck, I think.
Okay.
Unless you're telling me that he doesn't have enough good of a vision.
No.
You
It's an icon. It's a pan. You see it.
Is it coming from her, or does it seem to be?
Yeah, you feel like it's on her, right? So like the way I envision icons is they're always like it's not perfect, but they're always within a few meters of the device that they are attached to, right? So when you're close enough to actually within that 100-meter distance. So yeah, you can kind of you see that it is moving along with her.
Okay, and does it seem attached to the gun? Like with the guns, does the gun seem
has
like
its own icon. The gun has its own icon.
Okay, so I'd probably go with the gun then. It's gonna be easier to hit. I just want to have something that I can trace. Basically, that's my objective there.
Right, that makes sense.
She's probably checked the deck before the gun, so. And give me a minute. I'm gonna check what I have in storage for nerfs and stuff like that because I think I'm gonna need them.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna start with. Oh, I don't have any nerfs, but I do have edge and stuff, so I don't want to use the smackdown just yet. So. So let's just start and we'll post edge if necessary.
All right.
So that would be an hack on the fly. So that's hacking plus logic at a.
hmm
Oh wait. I would need an action to switch 2 of my stats deck stacked around though. Would I? Does that?
No, it's a free action.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do that then.
Right.
Oh wait, no, I'm good. Totally stupid. I'm not doing an attack. I'm doing hack on the fly. So sleaze is at top.
All right. So in the Matrix, what is your icon look like in the Matrix?
It looks like the Banksy graffiti of the guy throwing the flowers, but he's not
Okay.
throwing flowers. He's throwing like paper mache looking Molotov cocktail, and they leave a little like anarchist looking burn on it.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you rear back and you hurl that little kind
I'm
of
gonna post it.
Matrix pixelated. Go ahead and roll that post edge. What is your sleaze?
My sleaze is a total of 5 right now.
Okay, so you can take 2 more hits.
Yeah,
And that thing goes flying forward.
So that would be 9 dice.
All right. See what you get out of 9 dice.
Wow.
1 more.
Ah.
All right. So with that, the small bottle like is just a little bit off, and it just hits the ground and just kind of vapors out into nothing.
Okay.
Next
And
up.
since I missed a sleaze action, does she get a mark on me?
The device does.
Okay, the gun does, but not. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on what's going on there. It's hard to say exactly.
Okay.
But Gertrude, you are go.
So as Gertrude is rounding the corner of this building and realizing that she is not fast, she catches sight of Darcy out of the corner of her eye and goes, What am I doing?" and turns to run to the van instead.
Okay. So she runs across the street and at the van is able to hop in as her action. So you are now in Darcy. It's going to take an action to get Darcy started, and then you can get driving from there.
Sounds good.
Okay. Next up, Lila.
Flee.
Flee.
All right. I'm gonna increased reflexes doesn't increase my speed. It just increases my initiative, correct?
Increases your initiative, yes.
Okay.
It can kind of increase your speed if you have a decent running and strength, because then you can sprint actions, do more sprint actions. But
I'm gonna go ahead and cast my increased reflexes,
okay.
which I'm pissed at myself for not doing before we did this, but that's okay. And I'm gonna do it at a force 5.
Force 5, and then you're also kind of running ahead as much as you can.
Yep.
Okay. While you're rolling for that, we'll let you roll. Satchel, what are you up to?
Seeing Gertrude making a sharp turn towards Darcy, I follow suit because she is my point of reference for all this. And as I'm running, I'm like, "What's going on?" And I kind of put my walking stick in my belt so I can really get after it.
Actually run.
Yeah.
What's your agility when you're actually running?
My agility when I'm actually running is 5 + 0.
Okay. So that's gonna get you about to here in this turn action. You're not super duper fast, but fast enough. Kaida.
I'm thinking. When I levitate, it doesn't affect my speed, does it?
Levitate is
When you're
super slow.
so okay, here's how this works. This is why you were flying through the streets the other day. Okay, it's a little bit dangerous, a little bit convoluted. It's going to take you a couple of actions to do. You summon an air elemental, an air spirit, spirit of air, with the movement power. Then you cast levitate. Your speed when you levitate is meters per second or meters per turn of however many hits you get, right? So it's generally really slow. But then your spirit uses the movement power on you and multiplies that speed by its force. So let's say you get 6 hits on a levitate, you can move 6 meters around, and then you have a force 6 spirit. You can now move 36 meters in a round, which is pretty fast.
The summon the spirit and everything first.
Right. I'm going to go ahead real quick and do recommend that you cast increase reflexes.
I was gonna do that. Since
Yeah,
my
I know.
No, you didn't.
I saw you thinking about it.
No, you didn't.
I saw that eyebrow raise though.
I know, God.
The eyebrow raise doesn't come through here.
What is the force? Well, I can raise my eyebrow at Flea because she's a person. I can't raise my eyebrow at this omnipresent narrator.
It's good to know you give the voice in your head the same attitude that you give.
Oh yeah, of course. What's that?
So the recommendation for force on this is going to be 4, just because that's like your sweet spot. Boom. So what I want you to do now is just roll 2d6. Also hit your drain die there, just to see if you suffer any more drain.
It won't even show me where it is. It won't show up all of a sudden. The thing, it's not showing up. Can't find it.
What thing?
The thing with where it shows where the dice are, where I would click the roll. It won't pop up. Like I'm clicking the little chat bubbles in. Yeah, I'm clicking it, but it won't pop up.
Okay. I'll click it. I got it. I got you. I clicked it for you.
Okay. I don't know why it won't pop up.
You're good. You did not suffer any additional drain on that. Roll 2d6. So just hit the die thing on the top of your character sheet and put a 2 there. And we are going to increase your initiative by roughly that amount.
2d6. And then press 2.
Yep, just press 2 and then hit go.
Once again, I have no idea what I rolled.
You got a 3 and a 4, so that's a 7. So your initiative up, and then I subtract.
I'm gonna refresh this page. Maybe it'll let me.
Yeah, that might help. All right. So with that, you have cast that spell. Sam is.
By the way, I did adjust my initiative.
Yep, I did see. So Sam is out there. She is going to continue just running for whatever reason it is. She is running away. All right. Kaida and Flyla. What are you doing?
It's not me first, is it? It's Sam. Oh, Sam. I see it.
Right.
She already went.
I'm gonna run. Keep chasing.
All right. Let's get from you a running plus strength or a strength default. And while you do that, Kaida, you are casting levitation?
No. Because you said it takes too many turns. By the time I cast
levitation, I said it was going to take you a few turns.
But then by the time I do all this and actually get to levitating, where's this girl going to be? This woman.
A block away.
And that's kind of far, no? All right, let's do it. I'm going to summon the elemental. That's what I'm going to do.
All right. What force are you summoning this air spirit at?
What time? Do you remember what I did last time? Because that guy was really powerful. No, we don't remember. So I guess I'll go with the 6.
6. Okay, 6.
4.
So, all right. So go ahead and roll conjuring, and I am going to
I have
pull
summoning. I
dice.
don't have conjuring.
Sorry, summoning.
Summoning. No modifier. It doesn't ask for a force.
Right. I'm gonna roll opposed that. So you got 6 hits. That's really good because there's no way I'm gonna beat that. I might meet it, but yeah. Okay, we're fine. I'm not even gonna have you roll drain on that because you're easily gonna get the 2 hits that you need to soak the drain. So you now have a rating 6 spirit of air ready to do your bidding.
This is the same. This is the same homie that fried that guy last time, right? So do I have to take a turn to tell it not to kill anybody?
No. You're gonna take a turn to tell it what you want it to do, right? Right now, it's not doing anything. It's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna kill anyone. It's not gonna fight anyone. It's not gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna
It's
do
just
anything
there.
until you tell it, right?
Okay.
And then, depending on how spirits feel about you, and right now they're kind of neutral towards you.
Okay.
It is
So
going to, yeah, it's gonna try to do its best to do kind of what you want it to do.
What if I, at this point, just want him to go stop the girl?
That's a thing you can ask it to do. However, you're gonna have to ask it to do that next turn.
Okay. I might not even do that anymore since you just did that. My feelings are hurt.
He
You
didn't
just-
write the rules. He just
Then
enforces
Kaida
them.
stops and tells that narrator voice, "Who are you?
Why are you like this?
Where did you come from?"
Danny, I rolled a 0 on my running.
Yeah, I did see that. So,
So does that mean I don't move at all?
Yeah, so you didn't move. You didn't get any additional distance there. That's what that means. That is exactly what it means. Yes. All right. Etienne.
Etienne is gonna keep on trying to get enough marks. Once again,
All right.
plucking at it.
So you pull out another one of your little pixelated Molotovs.
Ready? I'm gonna use another edge.
Sometimes the dice are not your friends, and there's no dice jail in Roll20. What is that?
Last time 4 just cut me off. Just so I'm gonna add Notoet on top of that.
Okay, so that's 5 hits total.
Yes.
You have placed a mark upon the gun icon, so you can trace that as needed if you have to.
All right. Well, that will be my turn for now.
I believe Gertrude is starting up Darcy.
Yes.
All right. You do see Satchel kind of running towards the van now, without Sans. He's not like walking, sticking it. He's just booking, like as if he doesn't need a walking stick.
I will yell across the front of the van to him, and I'll say, "Get a wiggle on if you want to ride."
I'm a wiggling.
All right. So Satchel's a wiggling, and that brings us then to Sam again. Spoiler alert, in case anyone didn't know, she's running. It doesn't get much further though. Kaida and Lila, you have turns remaining.
Flee. I'm gonna keep running. Go out the same door she did. I'm gonna
All right, make that roll.
I'm gonna get my pistol out for my stick and shock too.
Okie doke.
Okay.
Mother, son of a.
Aw.
Kaida, what
This
is
fucking
the
floor is
what?
slippery.
It is it's full of there's flour all over the place.
Oh, what a waste.
I
Kaida,
like it.
what command are you giving the spirit of air?
Spirit, stop that girl and hold her still. Disperse. Please, young spirit. Would you fetch the maiden and hold her still?
Yeah.
Without killing her.
Without killing her. Thank you. And then I look at that voice and go, okay, that time I owe you one.
All right, so it zips away. And we're going to roll initiative.
I have to roll initiative,
We all have to roll initiative again because we have ended the second round.
but I have increased reflexes.
Yes, so you can roll it with your increased reflexes on.
How do I do that?
So on your character sheet, I'm going to
Yes.
turn on your modifiers.
Okay.
They're under your core,
Okay.
and then we turn them on. Actually, not under your core. They're under your little wheel, and they're right here. 4 and 2. Boom, boom. There you go. Those are
Okay.
set. You can now roll initiative.
And then I have one more question. When I have heal, can I use that on myself?
You can, but you cannot use it to heal damage that comes from drain.
That's all I want to do.
Yep.
Womp womp. Okay, so initiative on that with no modifiers. Oh crap, I forgot to do the thing again.
So,
don't even
Danny, I have a
see.
question. When I do a running thing, I'm using my action to run, so I still get my normal movement, right?
So movement in Shadowrun 5th edition. In a combat round, you get to run your agility times 4, and you are using up your free action to run. As soon as you have hit the running pace, the amount of speed that it would take to then be counted as running, you lose all your free actions for the rest of the turn. So with an agility, say, of 6, that means in one combat turn, you're going to be able to run 24 meters. So if you have one action or you have 70 actions, you can only go a total of 24 meters. Your options are to disperse that but amongst your actions. So if you have 3 actions in 24, you might want to go 8, 8, 8. Or you could just use them all at the front. In a straight up chase, there's not really a reason to kind of use them up in any other way than to just do them all up front. So everyone just moves their speed.
My reason for asking is because I haven't moved in 2 rounds.
You have. You moved into the building on the first round, about halfway to where you are now from outside, and then you moved again. So understand that the distances here are we.
I'm grumpy.
But what you are not is fast.
Shut the fuck up,
Don't make it worse.
dick.
Oh ye. Okay, so boom, everybody made their rolls except for Sam did not make her roll. So let's go ahead and get that done. Bump. All right, so Sam is a running. Lila, here you go. Ready? You moved. Yay. Would you like to roll a strength plus running to see if you go any further?
Oh, he's being shady.
Yes.
Okay.
My hope at this point is just to get to the end of the building by the time Darcy drives the fuck by.
Just
Got a fucking 1.
It's not
hey,
0.
you ran 1 meter. I will give you that. If you get a hit, I will give you a little boost there. There you go. Moved you.
I imagine this is so funny. Like she's trying to run and just.
Like,
It's the heels, man. Like they
tie
slip
your
on-
shoes.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's why.
Tired shoes. All right. So kind of above her, the air starts kind of roiling in the physical plane as this spirit of air sort of manifests, sparks and static kind of like just kind of ripping through it. And it sort of descends just in front of her, like between placing her between you and it. But all it can do this turn is manifest. So
Danny, you're so slick. You're so
doing
slick.
things.
Oh my god. But I can
Satchel.
still do. Where am I? Let's figure that out.
On your you have not moved. So Satchel, you get in the van. Good job. That's your turn.
What's going on? What's going on?
We got a runner.
Okay. And then so I like ready my adhesive gun.
Okay. But not the sword. We're growing.
Progress.
Going.
Progress.
Etienne.
If Etienne doesn't need anything else to track her, I think he's gonna come out from Matrix world. She's just gonna wake up and go, I got a mark on her. I can track. Well, where is everyone? And he's,
Kaida's there.
where would they all go, Kaida?
Yo, well, she went that way, and then she went that way, and I think he's going that way, and then the spirit went that way.
Okay, that'd be great if we didn't like beat her up too much. I mean, we just want to talk to her.
Why does everybody think my spirit's gonna beat her up? I don't understand.
Because last time it fried someone up. That's why.
That guy was trying to kill us. This girl's not trying to kill us.
That's a fair point. Come on, buddy, let's go. And he gets up and.
All right, let's go.
Okay. Are you?
And then I think to
are
myself,
you moving?
man, they're never gonna let me live that down.
Are you moving out, Etienne? Then is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I guess he's gonna, but he's not gonna go in. He's gonna walk around, like try and get there to the corner.
Okay. All right. So Kaida,
Yes.
what would you like to do?
So on my favorite TV show, which I'm not gonna say because I don't know if we can, like people with magic, they like randomly their powers will advance. Right? Is that something that can happen right now? Can I develop the ability to teleport suddenly?
There is no such thing in Shadowrun.
No.
You can't teleport in Shadowrun?
Nope.
Not per se.
I can't like mix increased initiative with levitate and I don't know, spirit of air or something. No, that's not how it works. I can't concoct a teleportation spell.
You cannot teleport by going
Okay.
bibbity bobbity and
I had
teleport.
to ask. Okay. So what I'm gonna decide to do at this point, I guess if my air elemental, I guess I'll run too. Ugh. I don't want to run.
Running is so banal.
I mean, yeah, I could levitate, but that's just wasted magic. And then so I'll just head that way. Let's say I'll
Okay.
just go with Etienne.
All right, you're heading that way. Satchel is in Darcy. it is Tristan's go, so you can make that driving test.
So I would like to use a smackdown,
Dun, dun, dun.
the best driving test, and look over to Satchel and say, "Better buckle up," and throw it into drive and peel out of the parking lot.
Satchel
All right.
definitely clicks that shit in because he is terrified of driving in the snow.
Yo, he's terrified of so many things.
What is
Except
it with
cutting
you
people
people
in
and
half.
being afraid of snow?
So using a smackdown to do this, the following occurs. So first of all, gas pedal just goes down all the way. There is a moment of weightlessness as the wheels spin, but you don't actually move forward. And then with a hard turn to the left, you basically drift out of the parking lot. While doing so, you engage the automatic door opener for the right side passenger door. So that just opens up because you are spinning around and drifting, and that open door is heading towards Kaida and Etienne. So unless you don't want to be in the van, she basically just scoops you up.
I'm okay with that. Etienne sees it coming and he braces and get ready to jump in.
Yep.
Tuck and roll.
And then I do a mini levitate that doesn't require a roll. And then I get
we call
into
that jumping.
I jump, yes. I'll jump in.
All that jump.
Yeah, we call that jumping.
But
All
it's
right,
a
so with
sustained jump. Like,
that, as you wish.
thank you.
Sustained jump.
Awesome.
We will call it a sustained jump. And the van is moving down the street. All right. So that was that. Sam has stopped and has drawn her weapon and begins shooting at the spirit of air in front of her.
How dare she?
What's going
Yeah.
on?
It's
now it's-
probably a good thing that you told it not to be
Yes.
murdered.
Because she would be dead right now.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Shooting guns. Ooh.
I leave for a second and there's fireworks already. What happened? Satchel says as he looks to the now pretty full van.
Well, she just started running, man. She's the one shooting, not us.
Lila. Flee.
Thank you. Is there a door to my left that I could maybe get out to the street?
Not to your left. There is one to the right. Which is not helpful.
Danny. God damn it. I'm gonna click my fucking 3 running.
I'm gonna get her.
You know what? I'm gonna run, and then once I get to the door, I'm just gonna like slow my pace and pretend that I just walked my fucking way through that building. Like I wasn't bothered.
Okay.
Oh boy, I got a 1.
Look at this. Look at me giving you the full 5 meter movement. All right.
I appreciate that.
So, what is our friendly spirit of air going to do?
I tell you what,
It just wants to catch her. It does not want to make with death.
But remember we talked at one point that this spirit of air, what it looks like, right?
Remind us all what your spirit of air looks like.
It looks like a dragon.
A dragon.
A massive dragon.
Made of air and lightning.
Made of air and lightning. So I understand why she's shooting, but still, we don't got time for that shit. So I think, just a suggestion, I think the air elemental would just put her in his mouth. And just hold her there. He doesn't chew.
Some sort
Kind
of
of like
grapple?
that. kind of like Pinocchio in the whale's the whale. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
He was fine. He got swallowed, but he was fine. I think that's what the dragon would do.
This is great.
Just throwing it out there.
So the dragon of air and electricity circles down and opens its mouth and just reaches forward. And unfortunately, it's not so big that it can like just swallow her down, but it does try to grab a hold of her without crushing. Let's find out how well it does. Oh,
I don't know why I'm so nervous.
that's unfortunate.
'Cause you're about to
We're
get your
going
second
to add that.
So wait, since I have increased initiative, does he also have increased reflexes?
No,
Okay.
he does not.
Okay.
So here we go. Before I roll anything, do you have anything you want to use?
Let me see what I have. What is the thing that adds like? I just want to use the auto hit.
Okay, so that brings us up to 5.
There you
That's
go.
respectable.
I want to
Yeah,
use
that
the
brings us
auto
up to
hit.
5.
And thank you. I know I've been holding on to them, but thank you to the people who've been watching and helping me collect these things. I've been waiting for Danny to give me some resistance. So here we go.
Oh, I got resistance.
Oh, you're gonna get some anti-resistance, whatever that is.
Oh, hey, that auto hit is exactly what you needed to succeed. As
Thank
Nice.
it does
you.
hold her, and she is unable to move for her next round.
And also, while she moves, because when she tries to wiggle, she like slices against his teeth, so she knows that that's not smart to keep doing that. No, I just made that up.
In your head, that's exactly what's happening.
That's how Kaido rolls. It's all in here.
Yeah, and that, you know, I mean, what is reality but what we think? Satchel, you're in the van.
I'm
Shotgun.
currently in the van.
Rolling
I
up on a Winnebago-sized air dragon thing, holding a girl in its mouth.
what's what's the objective? I say to the van. Like getting ready to like hop out of the front seat.
We just want to talk to her.
Talk. Got it. And then so I kind of like hop out of the van, I guess, and tuck and roll in the snow and like make my way over there with my glue gun in hand.
Okay, yeah. So that's the thing you're gonna do. Give me a gymnastics plus agility roll, please.
Gymnastics plus agility.
Yeah.
Yeah. So gymnastics would be an active, right?
It's an active skill, yes. If you don't have gymnastics and you have athletics instead, then you can go with athletics.
Okay, so
And you're going to be using it with agility and physical is your limit.
wah wah.
So you make it out.
Yes.
And the van is not, you know, it's not going like 50 miles an hour, right? It just scoops you up. It's getting up speed. It's probably about 20, 25 miles an hour at this point. And so you kind of, you know, you envision this roll, and just like the teeth of the dragon, just, you know, making the minutest scratches that just give you this sense of, oh, maybe I shouldn't resist and struggle to escape, or I will cut myself on these teeth that don't exist. You also think in your head, like, I'm going to roll and like pop up into a standing sprint run towards. But unfortunately, reality does not match always what is in our head. And I'm going to need you to go ahead and make a soak roll. That's going to be armor. On your character sheet, I believe that is
The armor jacket.
the armor jacket.
What I love from that is that he turned around and asked, like, what do we do? I'm like, we just want to talk. He's like, all right. And he just jumped out of the car and fell face first. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Okay, so you don't die. I mean, so
Yes.
there's that. But you do you do kind of like and kind of just rough yourself up a little bit. You end up taking 2 points of actual physical damage, which is not enough to give you a wound modifier or anything. Just you kind of scraped yourself up a little bit. Nothing too horrible. Yeah, mostly okay. Etienne.
Etienne is, as I said, he looks out the car, seeing his buddy just jump out and flop off and fall behind. And then he turns back and he sees the dragon trying to eat this lady. He's like, oh, tap at him. And he sits back in the car, grabs his deck, and he's going to try and make contact with her. I don't know if he needs to roll something just to, like, send her a message that would say, we just want to talk. Stop resisting, stop running. We're not here to hurt you. So if you don't know how you want me to do this, but he's going to try and make contact with the deck he found.
Make a matrix perception test.
Okay. I'll take the 3 like that.
Okay.
Oh, wait, you know what? No, I really want this to happen, so I'm going to use one of my own edge.
All right.
Oh, yeah, for one more hit because of the data processing.
Okay, well, I only got 2.
Okay.
So you find now, again, this is strange. You find what appears to it has to be the comm code. This is the comm code that is associated with this device, right? I mean, just because it's not a comm link, there's no such thing as a cyberdeck code, but you can do all the things with the cyberdeck you can do with a comm link. And so you get what must be the comm code, but here in the United States, 3 numbers for area code, and then 7 numbers for phone number. And if you're trying to call somebody in Djibouti, it's like 17 numbers and a bunch of symbols that don't make any sense to us. And that's like the difference. So like you're used to a comm code, but then this is like a weird scrambled thing, but it must be the comm code. So you find the means to dial this cyber deck, if you will. All right. So, Kaida, you just watched Satchel jump out of the van and hit something.
And at this point, that's exactly what I expect of Satchel. So I am totally unfazed by it. And then I can see her now, right?
Yeah, you can see now. Yeah.
Okay, and she's still in the dragon's mouth.
Yeah, the dragon has her.
Oh, okay. And she's not going anywhere.
You hope.
Okay, so since I hope, I then give the dragon another command. If she gets free, knock her ass out.
Okay.
But don't kill her.
All right. So that's the command. So that's your action, is to give the spirit a command.
That's my action. Yes.
All right, Gertrude. You are driving.
And I'd like to pull around the corner to try and get on the other side of her.
Okay. Give me a driving test. Because you're definitely trying to push Darcy in a very short span. Yeah, you make it without crashing, and then you hit the curb a little hard. Satchel realizes that the 2 points of physical he took were worth it to not be in Darcy when you hit that curb, because he absolutely hates that.
Yeah. Curbs.
Curbs.
So anxiety-inducing.
All right. So Sam, she's not pleased being in the jaws of the dragon, if you will. And instead of shooting, she just kind of like flails her arms into the body of this dragon creature thing for 6 hits. Spirit of air is mostly made of air. So it's kind of hard to punch, but somehow she manages to just like push through. So do and your air spirit does seem mildly diminished from that, as like she pushes through it, and it like sparks fly around her arm and like coalesce around, and then it seems like the spirit is just a little bit smaller. Just a little bit smaller. Lila.
Flee. I'm gonna give the fuck up on running. I think I'm about at the place where we saw Sam when we were standing at the entrance to this building, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna search where she was, like her desk, and see if there's anything I can find that she had to leave without.
Okay, yeah. You start looking around. Go ahead and give me a perception test.
Three.
All right. It's strange, actually. You don't. You're looking around. She was only wearing her jacket, and she had, the blue pants and sneakers. Apparently, she also had sneakers on. You don't see anything that looks like personal effects at all, and you're fairly certain that she didn't have any personal effects here to speak of. So it's not like you're missing something or that something's like hidden away. You're able to actually see that there's no personal effects of hers here.
Okay. Then I'm gonna make my way out to the side door so I can at least see the damn street.
Okay. The spirit of air releases her from its grip in the jaws, and you see it like puff up, and the chest, if you will, expands, and the energy inside, the electricity, sort of starts coalescing into a ball, and then that ball sparks out and turns into this greenish sort of gas that's inside of the dragon as it then exhales it over her, just breathing this greenish gas down onto her. So
You talking to me?
I'm talking to you. What we're gonna see if like how the gas works. Oh,
Okay.
okay. All right. So the girl can't help but get like it, just inhale this full lungful, a lungful of this gas, and then she just crumbles to her knees, just like coughing and retching. And then almost like just lies down on her side, and just seems really disoriented, and unable to move or gather herself. And with that, we're actually going to leave initiative.
Oh,
I'll see you guys in 15 minutes when I finish walking through this fucking building.
Satchel is just going to keep moving and just kind of like hold his breath as he goes into the smoke and like pick up the girl or attempt to.
Okay, so you're gonna move over towards the girl. Actually, as you're coming around the side of the building around the same time, because you've collected yourself. So as you exit the building, Flea, you turn to the left and you see Satchel walking up as well. And everyone over here is hopping out of Darcy.
Yeah.
yes.
Is that a fair assessment? All right.
And I'm rather annoyed.
The gas dissipates fairly quickly, so you don't have to worry too much about that. So unless anyone is stopping Satchel, he is going to attempt to pick the girl up.
I would have enjoyed doing that in a different way, but I guess it was needed.
Okay.
I'm new to the party. I just got here, as I pick her up.
Well, as you are about to pick her up, give me a reaction plus intuition test.
Reaction plus intuition?
Yep, so click on your reaction, select intuition as your other stat, and then no bonuses.
It just says input value and then modifiers when I click reaction. It doesn't give me another stat to scroll.
No modifiers. 0 on the modifiers. Yep.
Yeah.
And then it should show you the other stat.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And then so the other stat is reaction and what? Intuition?
Intuition. Yep. All right, so you will get to defend against this attack that's about to occur.
Really? She still ain't passed out?
No, she's not passed out. She's like heaving, as if she's as if she's sick, or
She's gonna make me mad.
nauseated. So go ahead and you're gonna do a defense test. So this is on your core combat info. It's the shield icon. That's great.
All right. No modifiers?
No modifiers. So she lashes out with her foot, and you it's that deal where you kind of, scoot yourself back and put your hand on kind of block her foot from kicking. You can feel the power behind that kick. But luckily you don't actually take any damage from it.
As I'm watching this and just crossing the street, can I just start like reaching in my pockets and getting out my little white cloth and my bottle of chloroform and
Please, somebody.
I'm
about to change my instructions to this elemental.
Whoa. Are you okay? Are you okay? As I say to her, I just saw you fall.
She's just doing that like jujitsu thing where she's just kind of turning so that her legs are towards you,
She's trying to keep an open guard available.
Like kick at you, and then she just kind of like retches a little bit, but she's not throwing up. The dragon is now sitting on its haunches, just watching contentedly.
And then I go over to the dragon, and I say, "Young spirit, thank you for your sacrifice." And then I want to cast heal on the dragon because he took some damage, did he not?
He did.
This is how we connect and make a bond. Because I fucks with my spirits hard.
I'll allow it.
Thank you. Do I need to roll or can I just?
Yeah, no, I just roll healing. Your force is 4 because that's all you have to heal.
Okay.
Just so you're aware, Durier, a good way to make a bond with spirits, they like when you share your karma.
And
I
some
don't
of
even know
them also
what
like to eat
That is a
when I
thing.
share my karma.
That is a thing. We will be discussing
Okay.
between this week and next week because you will get some karma.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn it!
Ah,
I took 20 drain.
that
No,
was a mistake.
two.
Oh,
So just
okay.
hit the button. So no drain. So you can just do it again. It's no big deal, man. No big deal.
Why isn't he healing? And then I tap my hands and I shake it, and then I try it again.
Like it's a faulty remote control. Like batteries.
Yeah.
Go. There you go. See, look at that.
Okay.
And now hit that.
See the
drain
hand
again.
tap.
Yeah, that's all it was. You need to blow on it.
Ooh.
Good to go. All right, so we'll you definitely do that. So meanwhile, over here, what's anyone else doing besides Satchel trying to say, "Hey, whoa," and
Yeah, Etienne is gonna try and come closer.
Flyla heading over there
communicate.
to You're gonna do what?
He's gonna try and communicate too. Like, okay, calm down. We're just here to talk. Not trying to bring you back to anyone if you don't want to.
So everyone's trying to communicate. Gertrude?
I will stand next to the van with the door open, since I do have medical equipment inside, and wait to see if Etienne is successful in communicating with her.
Okay. Etienne. Give me a negotiation test.
Etienne is so well-meaning, but so not good at this. All right, so I don't think I have negotiation. No, I don't. I got a big old 3 charisma, so there's gonna be 2 dice. Whee!
Yeah.
I got 1 hit. Not too bad.
Hey,
Not too
bad
bad.
at all. She doesn't seem convinced, however, and she's now trying to like scramble away. She does get up to her feet at one point, but then it's like she just trips over her feet and kind of falls down again. And she just looks really sick.
We got some stuff. This is an ambulance. My friend here, Gertrude, can help you feel better if you agree just to talk with us for a minute. Sure, we can't. We don't want to any harm to you.
Lila Flea.
I see
you
him
like to-
attempting to talk to her and her just freaking out and like halfway to vomiting and like she's just spooked and surrounded and like let's get her in the van where like she's maintained and can't run away from us at like 50,000 miles per hour again. I'm gonna fucking chloroform her.
Okay, chloroform it is. Go ahead and make that unarmed strike attack.
Everybody's all frustrated at this girl.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, she's.
Bro, how many times we got to tell you she ran? That's what happened. That's it.
Okay. You don't have to be so aggressive. I'm just trying to help.
Oh, that was the wrong one.
Look,
Satchel.
Satchel.
Okay, so since this is not an attack that does damage, you're just trying to put through an effect. You actually managed to get that onto her, and she kind of takes this breath from it. And does she pass out?
Swear this woman's a robot.
She does. And so
Okay.
finally, she just, her eyes close, and now she's lying there in the snow.
You're a fan of those drugs, huh? I say as I move in to scoop her out of the snow.
I just give him a look and then help move her into the van. And once she's in, I look to Gertrude and I go, we might want to make sure that she is strapped to the gurney so that when she wakes up, she doesn't flip the fuck out. Or if she does, she doesn't run or hurt us.
Gertrude points to the rope that's hanging coiled up on the wall of the van next to the gurney.
All right, so step 1, I'll help tie her up. Step 2, Gertie, you want to look at any of her wounds and make sure she's okay?
Yeah, I can take a look for sure.
And once you're done with her, maybe have a look at Sakosh here. He jumped out of the car. You okay, man? You seem a little bit bruised up. It looked like a rough landing.
It wasn't my best. Let's not worry about it. I say as I help put her on the gurney.
It had great action trip potential, though.
I appreciate that.
And then after they say that, I look at the spirit and I say, "Young spirit, you may return to the non-corporeal form. Stay close and protect us."
Okay.
And then I dap him up, a little dragon claw dap.
Protect us without killing us. I look at Kaida.
Oh, and then when she says that, I'm like, "Oh yeah," and make sure you don't kill anybody. That's bad.
It disperses, the physical form disperses, and it disappears from sight. It is still there, of course, on the astral plane, waiting for whatever comes next. At this point, you have her tied down. How securely to be determined. And Gertrude is about to look over the patient and see if there's any injuries or anything else that maybe they can help with. But we are going to take a 10-minute break and be back to wrap things up. Maybe.
Girl, have me
Question
stressed
mark,
out.
question mark, question mark.
Hi.
And we are live again. So we just left everybody in the van in Darcy with this young lady that they have now apparently kidnapped from her workplace. But it's not really as bad as all that. We're fairly certain. Go ahead. Let's start with Gertrude doing a quick, overall body check scan to see how things are doing. Now she's in the is she in the Valkyrie module right now?
We can put her in there, and then the Valkyrie module can do that scan because it's also
right. So what I'll do is I'll have you just do like a medicine check yourself. And meanwhile, Kaida, if you would like to assense by rolling your assensing check on this individual. So that's your active skill of assensing. And
Yeah, yeah, gotcha.
Okay. So what you have here is you've got, looking at it through the Valkyrie module, this individual, the Valkyrie module shows you that there's quite a bit of cyberware in this individual. However, there doesn't seem to be any sort of injuries that are currently something that needs to be treated. There's no current problems or issues. You do notice that she's got on the back of her neck a bandage that looks like it's been there for maybe a day or so, and yeah, just other than that, mostly looks fine.
Hey, Gertie, you want to check out the bandage and see, like, if maybe that'll tell us something about this girl?
Sure, I can definitely take a closer look.
All right.
While they're doing that, Etienne is gonna. He had made copies of the files he found on the comlink down in the basement they raided.
Mhm.
So he's gonna pull up the videos of that he had from that and start looking at the neck comparison and see if he can, make connections from the what he sees in the video to the person on the table.
Sure, you can make that roll as
And
Gertrude is removing the bandage, and Kaida notices that yes, this individual has a lot of implants. It shows up in the body, so the aura of the person is when you're looking in the astral plane, everything seems really dark except for things, of course, that are alive or magical, and those show up as auras that you can kind of read. So this aura is actually very light, very weak, and that is an indicator that of someone who maybe is sick, or in this case, you can see a lot of like almost like blank spots, like holes in the aura, and that equates to like cyberware and other body augmentations and replacements. Um, you you can't get an exact read, but you would say it's a lot. That this person has been extremely, very heavily modified.
okay, so then after I sense that, I get very upset. And then I turn and I look at everybody. I was like, see, maybe when I'm talking about stuff, y'all will listen to me. It seems like y'all only want to listen if it's about magic. But when I want to say something, y'all ain't want to listen. So I guess I'll just spell it out for everybody. Okay. Jacket, Janus Industries, check. Neck, hole in the back of the neck, Janus
Yeah,
Industries, check.
we got it.
This
She's
woman
probably-
runs like a madman. Janus Industries, check. I told you they were doing experiments on those people, and we found us a superwoman, and whoever put us on this job should be paying us a lot more than we're getting.
I look at Gertie and Etienne and go, I feel like he's the one that has to explain the joke after it's been told.
Well, we do have Satchel in the group, and I'm standing right here.
I mean, come on. Stop her. It's a little harsh for Sakosh here. So it's not.
And with
What?
that, Satchel is kind of just gets that he's like that he's the punching bag, so he doesn't let it phase him. And
well, I mean, let's take note of the fact that she literally looked at everyone but you and said that.
I know, I got you.
I looked at two of you. There were two more of you.
Well, you wouldn't say it to me because, I mean, anyway, point is, when I said it before, everybody's like, oh, no, that's not what's going on. But now everybody's like, oh, that's clearly what's going on.
Say that?
When we were at Janus Industries, I said, I know what happened. And I said that they were doing experiments. And then one of the girls bursted out and she's like a superwoman.
Yeah,
she
I
killed
think
these
by
guys.
the end of our investigation, I think we all agreed that's what happens.
Yeah, like the video was pretty definitive.
We were good on that.
I beg to differ.
Don't get
I
so
beg to
mad.
differ. I wish there was a recording of that conversation somewhere.
I look at Kaida and go, like, I'm not sure, like, what you perceive in your head while the rest of us are out here, but it's concerning that you seem to always feel attacked.
That's very magist of you, okay? That's how I feel.
Oh.
Wait,
I
doesn't
feel
she
as a mage
do
that I have been singled out.
She does
And
magic too.
It's like,
Satchel kind of chuckles to himself at all this like bickering and infighting, And he just kind of goes into the back of the van and like looks over his equipment, make sure nothing got damaged in his fall out of the van.
For some dramatic irony, Flea's gonna roll her eyes and go, I can't wait until I never have to run with you guys again.
And then because he can hear that, he goes, well, running clearly isn't your strong suit anyway.
You didn't. Well, technically, you were behind me for that, so I sure.
Spending.
And
It
then
seems like,
I
what?
just take some dreads and tuck them behind my ear and shove my chin in the air.
Okay, now that we're done, whatever qu'est-ce qu'on faisait, what about the situation at end right now? We got her, and he gestures to the person in the thing, and as he said, it seems pretty clear that she was part of it, and I don't know who's really hiring us to find her, but that's kind of suspicious that we were.
3
Before
sessions.
that,
Who called us about this one? Was it Simon?
it's
no,
two
it was
different people.
Juan Shawit.
Juan. Okay.
So, but on behalf of, he said Nick Ryder, whoever that is.
So
But here's the real thing, you guys, that's more pressing. This woman just burst out of a glass-filled tube and fought us a spirit, chloroform, and 5 people. You think those ropes are going to keep her down when she wakes up?
Well, I mean, she burst out of the tube, and then she got a job, and then she fought us.
Right, because she.
I mean,
right, I mean, but I don't understand. Those are true statements. She did get a job, so she's resourceful. But are those ropes going to hold her down when she wakes up?
I mean, they're just
I feel like the answer to that
question. I think at this point, I'm gonna fix her bandage so it's nicer, and then I'm gonna start just driving around since we probably shouldn't be just sitting here in the middle of the street. I didn't do a great job of parallel parking, so I don't want someone to come by and I don't know. You get
fine. Don't reinforce the binds. Don't reinforce the binds. And then
how about you reinforce the binds before?
No. That's not. I'm not the binder. I'm not the binder. I'm the
enough. Peace. We are all here to do a job. Let's behave like professionals, okay?
Now Sato like nods in agreement in the back.
All right, I'll take care of the bonds. You guys figure out what we do with her once we're done.
So, here's what we know about the jobs that we've been given. Simon, does anybody have a connection with Simon? Does anybody know Simon?
Anybody.
Okay,
Chicago.
That's good information. So Simon tells us to go check this place out. We do. This chick is what came from that place, and we get a call from Juan. Does anybody know Juan?
Aren't these your connections?
No, they were sent to us by La Princesse Quantum. I know her. Maybe I can ask her where she gets these jobs, but they were. Well, I don't think she would know.
We're getting contacted by these Johnsons. That's fine, but like that's what we want. But we don't have a connection, so we don't necessarily have loyalty to any of them. That's what I'm trying to say. The only loyalty we potentially have is that Juan has offered us money to give this or to find this girl and return her to him or whatever.
And return her to someone else who didn't hire us.
So I guess my question is morally, because we're not supposed to kill people, so morals are at play here. We pretty much know what's happening to this girl. Are we okay with giving her back to the people that did this? Because she clearly just wants to like live her life and work at a donut shop.
Do we know that Juan and or Simon would put her back, or is this something that was happening? Like we don't know which one's which, right? Do we know who Janus is tied to?
Well, I mean, if this girl's been missing for 20 years from somewhere, and people didn't start looking for her till recently, that probably means they didn't start looking for her until after she escaped. So the people who are looking for her probably aren't people who were looking for her 20 years ago. They're people who are looking for her like recently, which are probably the people who had her. So I would assume if we want to get paid, let's just give this girl back, reinforce these binds, take her, get that money, move to the next job. But if we want to be moral and not kill people, then we should probably just get her a different job at a different donut shop.
Why don't we talk to her when she wakes up and see what her perspective is?
I like that idea. As long as y'all reinforce them binds.
Let's reinforce them binds. And tell you what, just to be safe, I'll go ahead and kind of like reach in her armpit and do like this little pinch and nerve strike her. Like she's not moving.
Okay.
Ida in his head is like, but we're still doing the binds though, right?
Yeah.
Still doing them binds.
All right.
If you want me to roll anything for that, I'll gladly do it.
I don't need you to roll anything for that right now. What I do want is for you to just take note that pan from before, you don't see it anywhere. So it is off, apparently.
It's off.
And other than
Gertrude.
the weapon, he doesn't seem to have any other actual equipment.
Okay, Gertrude, right? I said it properly this time.
You did.
C'est pas Gertrude, Gertrude. Okay. You said, and it was mentioned by our buddy the mage here, that she had a lot of cyberware. Can you scan for that with your gestures at the Valkyrie module? With your module?
Yeah, and Gertrude sort of points over her shoulder while she's driving and says, "Yeah, it's an auto talk. Just tell it what you want it to scan for."
Oh, okay. And he's gonna go to the auto dock and pinch in and try to scan for cyberwares and identify if she has an implanted cyber deck. And also just basically try and make a list of her cyberware so we can know. But focusing on
Okay. So the device, despite stating that there is a lot of modification, it doesn't actually list any cyberware at all.
Oh, okay.
And it seems to indicate that there are that there's a lot of BioWare, but the list it gives you is small, right? So like basically it detects like there's bone density augmentation, but the levels that it's giving, well, actually, does anyone have biotechnology that isn't driving?
I think I do. Biotechnology?
Yeah.
I do have biotechnology.
Why don't you give us a biotechnology roll?
Yeah, he's mispronouncing things as he's listing them because he doesn't know what it is.
Yeah, and it's more than that. It's that so even when you look at it, you're seeing anomalies in the in the way it's reading for Satchel. It's like the bone density augmentation, and then like the extent is kind of fluctuating between like very minimal to a lot, but it's not getting a steady reading. And that tells you that what that tells you is that the grade of augmentations is really high. You can't tell to what extent, but that means like a machine like this is not going to read all of them. And I mean, even if it wasn't high, a lot of BioWare is not going to be read by a machine this way because it's not cyberware. It's not like it can ping off of a metals or what have you in the body. So given that, so between Kaida being like, this person is almost like maxed out in terms of like how much cyberware they can have, and then the machine confirming that there is no cyberware at all, and the indication that there is some high level BioWare, that kind of those things kind of come together to paint a sort of picture for you guys.
A picture that this is a robot.
No,
No.
l'opposé, en fait. The opposite, actually. They used advanced Bioware to augment them as much as they could with as little. Well, it ended up being like their entire body, I assume, that they used up to do that. But it's so much compared to like someone like me as in them.
And with that, like Satchel, kind of like he doesn't really say anything to the other ones, but he kind of to the other people, but he kind of like moves up next to her and kind of you can kind of see kind of like a sympathetic look come over his face, because he kind of like connects with what she had to go through to get all that thing to get all those modifications.
Par contre, there's something I don't really understand. When she was running away, I tried to see what I could find on her on the Matrix, so we can trace her if we ever lose her. I picked up the gun, and I picked up something else, but it was very faint, just like a cyber deck. So if it's mostly Bioware that's in there, there's no Bioware cyber deck. Well, the closest thing would be oh. Oh.
Oh, what?
Use your English, friend.
The what's their name in English? Technomancer?
Technomancer?
Yeah. I think she might be also one of those, which makes it even grosser. No, not that
Understand these words.
technomancers are gross, but it's just that I think they don't do well with wear. Then again, I don't know much about that stuff.
What do you know? Can you do some searching on Janus itself? I'd like to see what megacorp it's eventually tied to, because let's face it.
Yeah, that'll take some time, but I can do that. And he's gonna go sit down in a corner and go in the Matrix.
All right. As you're driving and trying to figure out what your next move is, Satchel, make a perception test.
Perception.
While he's doing that, is it okay if Kaida goes and sits in the corner too and rests up?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You notice that her eyes open, kind of halfway, and then she just starts trying to like jerk out of the bonds.
She's up, guys.
But it seems like she can't manage enough force or movement to actually get anywhere with that. What? Where? Who? What are you doing? Where are you taking me?
We don't
Just
know
calm
yet.
down.
We wanted to talk to you. We know what happened to you. We know where you came from. There are people looking for you, but we wanted to get your perspective.
No. Just let me go. Just no one.
If we let you go, there will be others that capture you and give you back to your captors. We're willing to help. We're willing to listen. So you've got a shot to get what you want or get handed over to the right people if there are right people.
Oh. No, there's nothing, no, there's not anything. I'm no one, just Remo.
Who's Remo?
Just let me go. I'm okay. I can take care of myself. I don't need any help.
I raise my eyebrows and kind of look around the ambulance.
Etienne is currently passed out.
Re- re- Remo.
What's Remo?
Remote?
What do I see anything happening on the Matrix?
Give me a matrix search test.
And I will point out that my character has the data anomaly quality. So I think you know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll set that up to you.
What does
Unless
it?
you want me to. Okay, data anomaly makes it that my character is very good at hiding in the matrix. However, because of the techniques he uses to do that, he's very obvious to sprites, which are the spirits equivalent of the technomancers on the matrix. So if Remo is a sprite that Sam is calling upon to do things on the matrix, it's gonna spot me right away.
Look at all this metagaming happening.
I'm sorry, she just.
I'm just playing. Go ahead and make that
I'm
roll.
just putting things together slowly, and it all becomes so obvious.
Okay.
3.
So you start looking for information on Janus, and your search it's kind of taking you into some places. There's some history that you're kind of having to delve through, and then kind of sift out stuff, and then all of a sudden you feel like information about Janus is just being pushed to you, like almost more than you really want to know. But the things that feel important are that it was a research firm that was bought out by Hephaestus Technologies in like 52. It was once part of the University of Chicago and the Argonne National Laboratory, and that Hephaestus is a subsidiary of Shiawase. That's the information you get on Janus Industries itself. You also get information about the particular experiments that were being run that developed these just like a cloning technology, and basically a lot of information about studying otaku and technomancers. It's certainly really riveting and intriguing stuff, but it's very dry. So for someone who has interest in this kind of thing, they could probably make use of this information, or maybe it just gets buried somewhere. Who knows? But it's the information that could be used to maybe kickstart someone else's research into this same area of study.
Okay, so yeah, everyone gets within a few seconds they get dossiers sent to their comlinks with basically a quick resume of what he found about Janus as a corporation. And he's saying there's a little line at the end that says "fucking called it, technomancer bullshit."
I as we get this information, I look at Kaida and go kind of softly, Kaida, would you please cast that spell that allows us to communicate?
It was asleep. Right?
He said he was asleep.
Yeah, yeah, because I got those 3 drains that I'm trying to heal up from.
He said he was like leaning in the corner next to Etienne, like to know that
I guess whatever.
Fell asleep in a matter of seconds or minutes. That's his call. But hey,
that's how he gets down, dude. There's so much mage hate that's happening today.
Kick him awake. That'll do it.
Okay.
It's also kind of an awkward time to take a nap, buddy. I'm gonna as I see Kaida is sleeping, I'm gonna look at Sam again and go, do you need to get out of town?
No, just
if you stay here, you'll get caught.
And they won't have medicine and snacks.
We do have snacks.
No.
Is there any way we could just get her out of the city?
That's what I'm trying to ask her.
There is nothing for me anywhere but here.
You make things for yourself.
I can take care of myself.
You can take care of yourself in another city where people aren't looking for you.
Sam, we found you and it wasn't hard.
It was on accident, literally. I was not trying to find you at all.
You didn't. I'm asleep.
Yes, on accident.
Not really.
I wasn't trying to not be found. I didn't know anyone would look. So now I know, and I won't be found. So just drop me
Kaida,
off
wake up.
anywhere.
What?
Can you please cast that spell that allows us to communicate?
Sure. Is there a reason? Oh, wait, I guess you mean just us, though, right?
Yes, please. With our team.
Force 5. And you need 5 hits.
Oh, can't do it.
You will need to. You can add additional hits, or you can use an edge to roll the mist.
What is adding additional hits? What's that? How can I do that?
So if you have those, right? So you have. Okay, so you don't have any of those. So you have to use a point of edge to roll the additional dice that you didn't get. So 10.
Do I need to click the edge button?
8 dice. Nope. Just click the dice symbol, and 8 is how many you're rolling. There you go. 5. And then now click your drain. 3 more drain.
Damn it.
You got a headache.
Ugh. Thanks to somebody waking me up.
Peace, please.
I was at peace.
This is a moment for us where we decide who we are as runners. payday is important. We all gotta survive.
I say we let her go.
C'est
I
vraiment bizarre. Je suis dans la matrice. Oh, it's very weird. I'm in the Matrix and speaking with my mind with you at the same time. So she wants to be let off. Maybe we can find her a spot in Montreal. I know people there.
She doesn't want to leave Chicago.
Let's
That's
be
dumb.
straight, guys. Let's be serious. We can let her go. I mean, that seems like what everybody wants to do. Who's that really going to help? She doesn't want our help. She's not going to take it. We let her go. Somebody else is going to find her, and because they failed the first time, they're just going to send better equipped people than us. So the next time, it's going to be like real mercs. I'm definitely going to take her.
So
I say that
sending her back to
we
the lab is the moral option?
no, that's not what I was going to say. What I was going to say is we vet who we're giving her to.
She is a
and then
person,
decide.
not property. Let her
She
choose
is a
that for
person.
herself.
Well, then if that's the case, then we're going to have to protect her regardless of her wishes. If you want to go with that line of thinking, buddy.
I don't think so. We don't protect every other random stranger we come across on the street, do we? There's 1,000 strangers in the Makers Collective. Do we protect them all, or do we let them go about their lives?
We didn't know they needed protection, but
We
now
all
we
need
know
protection.
We're made aware.
We just never know
Or you
when
want to
we need
sass me
protection.
today? Oh, it's me and you today? That's fine. Listen, Satch. Oh. Okay.
Listen,
This is the deal.
don't try me.
This is the deal. This is the deal. Here it is. As far as moral compasses go, I think mine's on pretty straight. But I'm also logical about these things. If we feel like we're the most kind-hearted people that she's going to come across and we just let her walk, we're essentially doing the same as giving her up to those people.
I start messing with the Valkyrie module as he's like espousing on his virtue, trying to let her out.
Satchel,
we also
I kind of touch Satchel's shoulder and say, we have to make this decision together.
Can we give her like a fake ID or, because we found her with the name, right? That was what they gave us her name and
that's all
everybody
they gave
knew
us.
her
The name is what absolutely.
But I mean, we can.
Is she gonna take the advice?
She's not.
Like, is she gonna take
advice.
the new ID?
She's
not gonna. She doesn't want to.
The question
So I guess
is, do we let her go here or do we turn her over? Because that's what she's asking to be let go. So we either give her up or we get paid.
What was the mission exactly? Were we supposed to find her or were we supposed to turn her in?
You're supposed to turn her over to
actually to get her. Well, then, I mean, we knew what this was going to be from the beginning. We knew we were going to be taking somebody against their will when we took the job. Or am I wrong?
It's not always against their will.
Well, why would somebody pay so much money to get someone willingly to come?
Well, this was a person that was kidnapped 20 years ago, according to our source. So
the semantics don't matter. She's a person. Wait. She wants to be let go. I say we let her go.
Oh God! Now you got a crisis of faith.
Wait.
That's a crisis of faith.
5 minutes ago, you didn't even want to be a part of the missions, and now you're all a buddy. You knew what this was when you started.
And I was trying to go in the Makers Collective and mind my own business, but I saw you guys needed help, so I came. Now this person wants to be let free, and I want them to be free.
At least with Flea, Flea is consistent. Satch, okay.
I continue messing with the module, and I look to Gertrude apologetically for possibly messing up her vehicle as I do so.
So the Valkyrie module itself is not what's holding her down.
Okay.
It's the ropes and the paralyzation.
Etienne, I need you to find these sources. Figure out who Simon was working for. Figure out who the other one, Juan, is working for. And figure out if one of them is linked maybe to her family actually trying to find her.
Okay. Hey,
And then
Sam.
I slowly turn.
Work fast.
Yeah. Well, does any one of you have psyche in their pocket or something like that? I could use a little bit of a, a little bit of help, chemical help to make it faster. Or Sam, could you? I know what you
I
can do.
think
Can
I
you
have that.
give me
Is it weird that
a bump?
I think
We
I
could
have that somewhere? Where would I look for that if I had it?
In your
in
pocket?
inventory gear.
No, I mean I know we discussed it. There's like a thing I can't look. It's right here in my
We were
gear. I have one.
literally just
I
at
have
the
two.
Maker Collective, and you didn't pick up something that you thought you might need.
I
Hmm.
didn't expect a deep dive matrix search for
Hmm.
missing.
Are you not our Decker?
That's not what I'm a gun person and I do decking on the side, lady.
Did you get a gun?
Well, I already have a gun.
Oh,
Okay, back to peace.
I have
Yes.
I
And
have one. I have one psyche, but I only have two, bro. So it's gonna cost you.
I'll pay you back. Just hand it over and give me
When
like
are
10
you gonna
minutes.
pay me back?
You can buy it at the corner store. I'll buy you some more. It's just expensive, I know.
I
Satchel,
need two for.
give a little time. Let us. You know what Etienne's doing. Let's see if we can do a little more for Sam.
And Sam, you're awake. I guess I come back out. Etienne comes back out of VR to pop a pill of psyche, and
I gave him one of my psyche,
Okay.
and I'm
which,
checking the. You
if
owe
I
me
remember
this.
correctly, it boosts intuition, right? At least of one.
Yep.
So yes, that's gonna help. And he's gonna try and talk to Sam. Sam, I'm gonna try and find out more about you, your situation, and how I can help you. How can we help you? You want to help me do that?
We've
don't-
already been asking her that.
I don't know.
Etienne is.
I don't know what you mean.
I come on. I've done research on where you come from. I've looked on the matrix for you when you ran. I know what I saw.
Sam, I don't think he's making himself clear. We're trying to find where you belong. Like, do you have family? Do you have, like, someone might be looking for you that, like, you actually want to find?
I don't. I've been in that nightmare for all my life. And I remember I was little, and now I'm apparently fully grown, and maybe I have a month of that time.
So we're mind linked right now, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I kind of think she might not even be the original. Let's just let her go. All this is torturous, even for me. Let's just let her be. Just let her be.
Oh my God, this guy's getting on my nerves.
I don't give a fuck.
It's
Oh, you can hear that? That's right. I'm bad.
I don't say that out loud. I don't give a
I'm
fuck.
bad with the mind linking. I don't usually mind link with people. It's tough, and my head hurts.
Vous
And
savez
you
quoi?
whisper really loud.
Yep. You know
You
what? I
mind talk
know.
like
I agree with him. I can do this research, but if she just wants to be let go.
So I just wasted my psyche. Listen, let's just put it up to a vote.
I
Okay.
vote we let her
'Cause
go.
I think everybody.
That's it.
So let's just put it up for a vote. Is that okay with everybody? We vote.
Oh wait. Where did that came from? And Etienne seems to be looking in the air like he does when he looks in the AR. I got a list of names. What did she say earlier? Renault?
She said Remo.
Renault? Comme le chanteur, uh, Reno?
Remo.
Remo. Sam, who's Remo? And why is he talking to me?
Um, Rima. Oh, um, no, I don't know. I don't. I don't think they can. It's
See, he gets it. We're trying to help you.
I. Fine. 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 You tell him. At this point, as soon as she says that, uh, you start getting data packets. The data packets, uh, some of them you've actually seen some of them. It's articles about the girl who went missing. Um, she was, just kind of playing outside. She went missing, and then like the next day, it was Bug City, right? So it's hard to say if she was like kidnapped or if she was just got lost and like was found later. You don't know. But there's and not the next day. I mean, like there was time, but it's just like she was she went missing, and then like eventually people forgot about that because of the Bug City thing. So she went missing before um, the containment zone came up and everything, right? There's information on the search to try to find her. There is the lead detective on the case was a junior detective. Nick Ryder was his name, and
Oh,
and then Bug City, and then people they kind of like felt, well, it's done, like she's lost. There's nothing for that. If she was in the city still, like there's nothing that can be done. And then you get more recent stuff. You get her kind of you get like a video, almost like a video, but it's really grainy. Images of her at like different ages in like a not a hospital gown, but like a just a plain, maybe some floral print, uh like nightshirt almost, but in very sterile environments, uh people standing around, and then that kind of fades away. There's like seeing from like as if the camera that's recording the video is inside of one of those glass tubes, is how you kind of feel, with again more like scientists and stuff standing around. And then finally you get the image of the breaking of the tube, um, the murder of the people, from that point of view. And then there's like it like almost fast forwards, and then you see her arriving at some location in the containment zone, and like almost on her last leg, she kind of falls over, and then somebody, you can't see who, it's very dark, just picks her up, and then it kind of ends there.
Okay, so all of that is forwarded to everyone as as he's viewing it. Everyone can see it in AR if they have that kind of stuff enabled.
we're on mind link.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know how well Mindlink does images. If so, yeah, I guess you can go to
No,
the.
it's just discussion, it's talking words.
So then you just get like a link of like French swear tap. God, qu'est-ce que c'est ça? Tap. That he's surprised and appalled by what he's seeing in the mind link, but you get the images and the information sent to you via Matrix, along with the names Simon Andrews, Sailor Crop, Yuan. I'm not gonna try and pronounce that. Gziult. I will. Gziult, and as technology.
What? That last part didn't make sense.
And Yuan and a last name that I can pronounce, and as technology.
What about him?
It's just the names that have been pushed to me that I guess we should do more research on.
So, are there two
Before we do
different
that-
corps that are looking for her? Is that what that means?
So I believe
As far as I know, right now, 3 corps are involved. Shiawase by the first. Let me check my note. Shiawase Janice was a sub of a sub of Shiawase, and now according to the sprite, Seder Crop and As Technology are also involved. So I'm not
So
sure.
those
So-
last two are probably rival companies of Janice.
so. Here's
Yes.
what my thought is based on the Johnsons that contacted us. So one called on behalf of Nick, right? Who in our thing was the first investigator into her disappearance.
Why would he be looking again after 20 years?
Because if she just resurfaced and that's gotten around, which clearly it has, then he could be resuming that investigation.
Is technology so good now that like a person can be 20 years older as from a child, and just by being visible, people would know that she's back?
Uh,
The
Do you know
rumor
what I mean?
mill.
I don't know. I feel like
usually
there's something
find
fishy
based on the
about this
rumor
Nick
mill super
Ryder dude.
fast.
and maybe the man
I just feel like there's something fishy about this detective.
Maybe the man had his suspicion before, and now that he knew that this place had been hit, he
I don't know.
asked
It's
questions.
just fishy. This dude is a detective, doesn't do well on the case, and somehow just like the presence of her face is enough to
Well, for
bring him back
now,
to looking. And he's looking through mercs. He's not doing police work. He's paying.
well, I'll tell you
Shadowrunners
what.
to do.
I'll tell you what. Let's make this simple. I'm gonna make research on this guy, see where he's at, and what's his deal now, and from that maybe we can get a better idea.
And I don't know about you, Kaida, but a cop going through, because it was mentioned he was a cop, right?
Is the lead detective on the case.
Right.
He was a lead
So a
detective.
cop not going through cop channels, I don't think is necessarily bad.
Forget we're not supposed to expect them to, stay above the fray.
I don't have any expectations. I don't know this guy.
So real quick, Duryea, in the future of Shadowrun, most police forces are actually corporate. So it's private police forces. So it's
I understand.
It's libertarian utopia, apparently.
Well, considering what happened in the past and the companies involved in Chicago, maybe
We
he
just
wanted
threw
to
a lot of
avoid.
shade.
He wanted to avoid the corporate channel.
Do we know if he is like a Lone Star guy or is he a corporate detective? Because we just know he's a detective, right? Or are we just assuming that it's.
We know he was a detective on this case 20 years ago. As for now, pass out in the Matrix, and he's gonna do some research on the guy.
Let me ask for a question for some clarity. You said the names of those two companies were what now?
Seder Krupp and As
Uh-huh.
Technology.
Okay, never mind.
So as he goes back into the Matrix, and me not knowing how technomancy works because it's not exactly common, I'm gonna go kind of hold my hands up and go, Remo, if you can hear this, send us info on Nick Ryder.
I look to Sam and I ask her, who picked you up after you passed out? Like the last image was a man picking her up as she passed out, right?
I woke up in uh uh, in around the collective, in a bed. There was no one there.
Someone there. They just left you there? Or like, what building were you left in?
It was one of the homes. It was I think it was one of the squatter homes nearby the collective.
Do you think you could go back there if we took you there? Would you be safe there?
It's just a house near the collective.
That wasn't my question.
I'll be safe here. I'll be safe. Just I'll make my way back there. You don't need to drop me off at a particular place. Still in Chicago, right? So I'll figure it out.
Would you rather be anywhere else?
We asked that already. She said no.
At this point, I say I mean, I don't know what.
We're still getting
think we
data
should-
on Nick Ryder.
Right,
We're
right.
trying
That's
to find
right.
where she belongs, if there's a place for her. If not, we'll decide what to do next. But we're following up on some leads.
Okay. So then, Kaida, I can't rest because I'm sustaining this spell, right?
Right.
Yeah, there's some of the stuff we're talking about I don't think she should hear without causing panic. So
then Kaida goes and leans up against the side of the van and presses his temples.
you're
There's
doing a
And
good
it's
job,
daytime
bud.
too, right?
Kaida.
Huh?
There are snacks under your seat if you want them.
Is there what are those things called? The patches that help heal drain?
Stim patches.
Stim patch.
But they
Yes.
only last minutes.
About an hour. About
An
an
hour?
hour, and then you get it back +1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's good
Yep.
like
Damn it.
when you're fighting, but like right now, like you getting all these headaches just means you're doing your job.
I'm just cranky now because my head hurts.
What were you before?
Well, before you mean pre-satchel? I was fine. But now him with all this tinkering with those buttons and all this, we should be nice people. Well, where was that when you sliced the dude in half? You know?
My
So-
compassion was aimed towards you and keeping you safe, not this lady's
look,
freedom.
Clearly my elemental had me, and
Hey,
yeah.
you jumped, I followed through. Okay, I had no remorse about what happened, and I would likely do it again if it
I
came
jumped
across.
and you built a ship and flew to outer space.
Cool. We
That's
get
what
out,
happened.
and as long as we run together, I'll do my best to make sure you get out. But I'm trying to make
just
sure
feel
she
like-
gets out. All right, she's not
We
doing
knew
anything
we were gonna.
wrong.
I think we knew that we were gonna be giving this girl to people. I mean, let's be honest. We knew we weren't gonna just
in the mind mode, I go, hurry up, Etienne.
Ouais, j'ai
I mean,
j'ai
come on,
trouvé ce que
Satchel.
vous
What did you think we were
cherchez,
gonna do? You thought we were gonna
I-
find this girl and she's gonna be like, "Oh my God, thank you for finding me," and we were gonna put her in the van and drive her to these people.
Yes,
Are you guys
exactly
gone?
that.
That's what
Why-
you thought was gonna happen.
Hold on a
Guys,
second. What is your problem with
Etienne is
me?
talking. Shh, business.
Ah ouais, calmez-vous, bâtard. Okay, Nick Ryder. He's a Lone Star detective. Consider some sort of mild loose cannon. Why? Because he's self-righteous. That's good, right? That means that he's in trouble.
Noted.
He gets in trouble for going outside the official channels to solve cases. So that's Oh, and he likes the bottle. He's a booze guy. That's good for us. But um, anyway, he he's not. He's still on the case, so I mean, I doubt he would be on to just get her back to her court.
Do you have a comm number for him?
I mean, I can probably narrow down his station, but I mean, from where I come from, calling the cops is a big no-no. So,
Me too, bro. Me too. But if they paying,
but I mean,
that's
if you give me more
$3,000 a
time,
piece.
if you give me more time, maybe I can narrow down a more personal way of getting in contact with him.
Are we getting in contact with him though? We're getting in contact with if he's legit. I mean, it seems like his story checks out. He's a cop working the case. His record says he goes outside of the lines of duty, which clearly
Yeah,
he's doing here.
I'd rather read
I
him
mean,
myself. You scan.
oh man, my head hurts.
Take a nap.
Get me a comm number.
Oh, you
All
would
right,
like that,
and he
wouldn't you?
swings
I
you a
Sam?
comm
definitely would.
number.
I'd like if you took a nap,
I take naps
Guys, I'm about to
I'm
make a
nobody.
all the
phone
time.
call, so
You guys actively keep me from napping.
peace.
She's gonna call him, so everybody shut the up.
All right.
I bicker with him in my mind.
I'm gonna
We're all hearing each other.
turn to face the corner, so that like he can't see the team behind me and stuff like that, and or Sam. And I'm gonna give Ryder a call.
Okay. You give that comm code a buzz, and it rings several times before it finally gets picked up. And you see on the other end a man in a sort of disheveled suit, obviously sitting at a bar. It looks like. He is looking down at the camera there. Yeah. Who's this?
Mr. Ryder, my name is Felicia, and I am to understand that you are looking for a girl who went missing 20 years ago. I want to know what your interest in this case is.
The talking about the Sam Carroll case.
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, she's been missing since 2053, over 20 years ago. If we found her, I'd like to get closure on that case. There are people who want to know.
What does closure mean for a case like this?
It's fine. That she's fine. That she's alive. Her family will want to know.
How
Do
did
you
she
know?
how did she get taken from her family?
She was her family went to pick her up in front of the school, and they never found her. They just disappeared.
Can I like just to go along with it, like I'm feeling some trust for this guy so far, but like can I make a roll to see how Flea's feeling?
You can judge intentions.
Ooh.
Yep, I think he's great.
He's, he looks tired, like just really tired.
All right. I kind of look at him and I go, "You'll be hearing from Simon soon."
Who?
It was Simon, right?
It was.
Oh, you'll be hearing from Juan soon.
Juan? What do you mean?
I'm gonna disconnect the call.
You may also recollect that Juan wanted you to deliver the girl directly to Nick Ryder.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Well, I'll still call Simon. God damn it, I'll still call Juan. This is hard. And I'll say packages in transit to destination.
Okay.
Gertrude, head to Nick's precinct, and Etienne, I assume you can find that address.
Yeah, I was listening on that call, and I don't think he was at the precinct, and I don't think we should bring her to the precinct. I think we should give me a minute to find where that comlink is, and we should bring her directly to him.
Okay.
Okay. So given that you have plenty of time to do so, and it's just a comm link, it takes you about 10 seconds to trace that. Actually to back to where it all started, the pizza parlor. Chicago's own
Ooh.
pizzeria.
How about that?
Which you do recall had a bar in it. Yeah, that tracks.
Makes sense.
On the way, we should probably like warn Sam that like your family's been looking for you. They've never given up.
You get messages from Etienne saying like, I'm not very good at this. Can you do that, please? As much as I wish I could.
Can you do what?
Talk to her.
Yes. I say what I just said.
And then I say to the group, no, actually, I'm not going to say that to the group. I'm going to wait to say it until this is all done.
I don't think I have family.
Say that. I knew that's what you were going to say. And then I say to the group, it's weird. I was just thinking, wouldn't it be funny if this wasn't the actual Sam and if this was just a clone?
I said that.
I know Satchel said that
20 minutes
earlier.
ago.
I know you said it. We heard you say it, Satchel. Oh my God. Okay.
Well, we're
And
bringing
her
you
feet.
back to someone who's the closest thing you'll ever have to family. I hope it's good enough.
They'll make sure
And
you're
there's
safe.
pizza.
I'll say over the mind link. I mean, she was just a little kid. It's not like we can ask her who the president was when she went missing, right? Isn't
How
that what
little
you
was she?
tell how old people are?
That is what
I
you
don't.
do. Maybe we should ask her who the
you
president
guys
was.
have a weird way of taking time and shit.
I start releasing her bonds, and as we get close, and kind of try to like comfortingly like help her up and take her into the pizza place.
And then as she does that, I tell the spirit, hey, if she tries to run though, knock her ass out.
Please don't.
Guess her again. Guess her
Non-lethally,
again.
Kaida.
Non-lethally knock her ass out. I feel like he's
Alright.
got the non-lethal bit, but
I want to hear you say it every time.
Well, you don't actually hear him say the command because that's between him and the spirit. He doesn't have. Well, he can say it out loud, but he doesn't have to say it out loud. He has a telepathic link to his
Fair enough.
spirits. And so you arrive at Chicago's own pizzeria. And as you step inside, guiding this girl who you have convinced to at least see what's going on, you notice that you see the silhouette of Nick Ryder sitting at the bar.
I'll kind of approach first, because he should recognize me from the call from like 10 minutes ago. And I'll say, Mr. Ryder.
Yeah. Oh,
There's someone here to see you.
he kind of looks in the direction that you are looking, and it's that really god awful part in the trids that someone sees someone that they've just been looking for forever, and they're just brought in, and you could just feel like your brain just plays like the violin music that just rises up. As he kind of stands, he grabs his fedora and that was sitting next to him at the bar, and he holds it up to his chest, and he starts moving forward, just kind of looking at her and just looking almost confused. Uh, let's have a seat. Uh, uh, oh, yeah. And then he guides. He kind of moves over to a table, and all of you stop standing awkwardly at the entrance, and follow over to that table. Um, I, I he reaches into his bag and pulls out a manila folder that's got like a string looped around over one end, and he undoes the string, and he looks at he like pulls out some papers and looks and he looks at her, and it's like, oh God, it is you, Samantha Carroll. So where have you been? She just kind of looks at him and then looks at you all. I don't know.
It's a very long story, and he's gonna end in a data chip with what he found.
He takes the data chip. It's wow, this is actually this is my first case as a detective. I just well, I can't say that this makes up for everything, but and he just it's like he's just talking almost to himself, like you have no real sense of what he means or what he's talking about. And he looks over to her, and I can get a hold of your family, and then with that she interrupts. I don't know any family. I don't think I have any family. There's not. He's like, well, of course you do. Like they've been looking for you they've been wanting to see you for 20 years. What do you mean? And she just kind of looks over to you all, and then back to him, and I just I have things here. I have a life here. I don't have any family. I don't have anything like that. So I just want to go back to what I was doing. Can you take me back to where you got me? Can you take me back to the collective? I just would rather get back to what I was doing.
Yeah.
I look at Nick and say, maybe you want to give her your contact info for if she ever changes her mind. She's ready.
He looks at the lot of you and just kind of reading the table a little bit. Yeah, I sure. You have my code. I guess just
Yeah.
and he looks at the data chip in his hand. He's like, I don't understand, but you say this'll help.
If she's okay with it. Yeah.
But we still getting paid, right?
Just shut up. It's not him that's paying us.
So he gets up and he just kind of walks towards the door, and then he turns one last time to look at Samantha Carroll in her orange Janus jacket and her blue scrubs. And then he puts his fedora on and steps out into the cold winter night. And that is where we will end today's session.
As soon as he leaves, can I look at her and go, let's get you some new clothes on the way?
Yes, you can. You can take the clone girl shopping for clothes. Yeah, so that's the session tonight.
Yeah.
We will go over
Satchel
between now
got
and then.
a conscience all of a sudden.
Huh?
The Satchel got a conscience all of a sudden.
I've always had a conscience. You just never took the time to ask me about it.
If we did, we would have gotten like a circular answer that never answered our question anyway.
So with that, we will see everybody next week for where we're going to pick up. I will, these folks will have probably gotten paid. Maybe some stuff will happen in between. Maybe they'll get a few, pick up some new equipment, have some new friends, and we'll get rolling on, what life is like in the zone and the corridor before we get into SRM 0502. The next module in the series.
It only
So
took
thanks
us
for
15 hours to get through a 4-hour mission session.
Amazing.
That's all. That last chase is usually about 10 minutes at the table. Yeah, so I want to stick around after we close up here and just talk to folks and maybe in the chat and see folks who played it in there. We have Mr. Loper, the writer, get some of his insight maybe on what he was thinking and what led him to add certain things to this module. And whoever is going to stick around from the cast to join, welcome to. I welcome you to stay and just we'll discuss the module itself.
I got one thing I want to say, Mr. Loper. Thank you for being a regular viewer first, and second, it'd be nice to have him on for one of our posts.
That's what I was just going to say. Do you want to join our Discord channel and join us for the after episode conversation? Because you totally should.
Put him on the spot. Right.
Yeah, totally.
I was gonna say in the future and be a little bit softer about it, but yeah, right now it's good
time to prep. Is your webcam ready?
He can do just.
Are you wearing clothes?
We can do voice. That's all right. Well, we'll take a quick break. Yeah, sure. He's gonna join us. That's great. So we'll get that all coordinated on our break, and we'll be back in how long you want to take, Danny?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
All right.
Awesome.
Alrighty.